So basically, I met this wonderful lady in Wawa. I was working at Wawa, and the manager tried to tell me, "Oh, be careful with this one. She's gonna give you a hard time." Assuming, and I never even met her yet. He's already giving me a little brief rundown of who she is, and I didn't even meet her before. So I end up helping her. Basically, she just wanted a certain amount of pack of cigarettes. It wasn't that bad. And plus, she was giving me wisdom. I remember, I'll never forget, you told me, you was like, the older you get, the less they listen. Computer. I'm like, computer? She was like, every time I say computer, that means listen. So basically, we having a deep conversation. I'm in the middle of work. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, we
nah.
did, didn't we?
Yeah, it was like for like a good, it was like only a minute too, like a minute, 30 seconds. Having a solid conversation. I'm like, oh, nah. We exchanged contacts. Now she's one of the people in my life that give me wisdom. She teaches me where I need to stand at a party, knowing that I gotta see the exit sign. Like, it's the little stuff that counts. And her spirit is so high. So, guys, I would like to welcome you, Faith. Faith is one of my mentors. She has an experience and she's very knowledgeable. Please listen.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
When you're in your 20s or you're 16,
Yeah.
and then you're my age at 79, okay, you still think the same way that you did when you were younger. You still have the same qualities about your personality. You still have the same. You don't change. Your mind doesn't change. It's like I still think like I was when I was 20.
Really?
Uh-huh.
But like,
Yeah.
of course, you do get more mature, though. Of course, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm much smarter. Yeah, I got a lot of wisdom. But I mean, I still think the same. Like in my 20s, I thought I would have a child. She was kind of a surprise, okay? Yeah, we were married a very long time. I had a great job.
A surprise.
And I wasn't really thinking about having a kid. It just happened. So then they let me have a maternity leave for 1 year. That's unheard of. I was good at what I did, so they held my job for me. Okay. And when Sonia was born, she was the prettiest baby I ever saw. Okay, she really was. She was
This is in your 20s, like you said, right?
Yeah, I was 27 when I had my daughter.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and then 2 years later, her father died, and you still think the same way. But when you're young and you have a child, it's embedded. And even when you're 25 or 16 or whatever you are, you think, well, one day I'll get married and have a child, and I'll have grandchildren, right? And you think, well, at the end of your life, you just know. You just know, because I was there for my mother and my father. You just know that your daughter's going to be there for you. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then you find out when you get there that that's not going to be happening.
So, like, are you speaking from more so your experience, or like just a broader perspective of like how life usually
ends? No, my experience.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And our society is changing. It used to be that, like Italians, the older you got, the more respect they have for you. Japanese, the same way. The older you get, the more respect they have for you.
Yeah.
Okay? And that culture still exists. Okay? I watch it. The family across the street is like, I think, from Japan or someplace. And and even how they treat me, okay? With respect. But that has gotten lost in America. It's still in the it's still embedded in the European people, okay, that you respect the elderly, you take care of them. It's just a given. It's just a given, you take care. Our American children or young adults don't want to be bothered.
So like you feel like in America, they don't cherish and treat the elderly or the older people with much care. That's what you believe?
Yes, I do. That's a fact. I know that's a fact. If you go to the hospital, they don't treat you the same.
How do we fix that? That's a bad. Like, I like the elders in my family. I like the my mentors that are my age. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I like your wisdom. I appreciate your presence. So how could we fix that in society though?
Look, good luck.
She said good luck. She said good luck.
How-
Guys. But yeah, you were saying how us American young children, we don't treat the elders right. How do we do it? How can we fix ourselves?
It's just, honey, let me tell you something about this. Is a computer shit too.
This is some computer shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing stays the same. Not your life, not society. Nothing stays the same.
Nothing?
Nothing stays the same. Mm-mm. It changes. It changes. Everything changes around you. Your society changes. People change. How they treat people change. Look at all these kids out there protesting for the terrorists. Not for Israel. Look at what Biden did. He's a real shithead. He's a real shithead. You know, Israel has been our friend forever. Okay? They are one of our allies in the middle of the shithole over there in Europe. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what he does is he wants to tell them how to run this war. Biden does. He wants them to stop the war after they butchered all those people about 7 or 8 months ago, whenever it was.
Jeez, crazy
it was
activity
right.
going on.
So here's what he did this weekend. He told them if they go into Gaza, where a lot of civilians are, he said you can't go into Gaza because there's too many civilians. I think it was Gaza. Okay, and they have to go in there. They want to end the war. They want to get rid of these terrorists. Biden wants them to stop. They have been our friends forever, our allies forever. Okay, and he turned on them. Why do you think he did that? Why do you think that he did that? He's holding back the firearms. He won't give him the firearms to fight the war. He's a son of a bitch.
Wow.
That's right. That's what he did this Friday.
All that
he's not going to
happened
give him
this
He's not going to help him with the ammunition to go into Gaza. So he thinks he's a son of a bitch. He thinks he control another country and how they fight their own business and their own war.
He's a son of a bitch. Oh my gosh.
He is a son of a bitch. Who does that? They are friends.
Who should the people need to vote for?
Let me tell you why he did it. Do you see all these protesters?
Yeah.
From the colleges? Have you seen any of that?
Yeah, I have seen actually last week. It's crazy that you say that. Yes.
Well, it continues to go on for weeks now. It's been going on, okay? For weeks. He wants those votes. See, they're against Israel. Those protesters are against Israel. Okay? Yeah. They want Hamas to win the war. They believe they are the right ones. Okay? So Biden wants to stand up. He wants everybody to know, I'm not giving Israel this ammunition. The people that are protesting, he's thinking if he says he's going to do that because they're against Israel. These protesters are against Israel. Okay? So he says, I'm not going to give him ammunition. He wants those little brats votes. That's why he did it. He wants their votes.
That's
people in the college streets that are running around like a bunch of assholes. They're little monsters.
See, like me, Faith, my opinion personally, like I just feel like it's so much negativity and everybody turning on everybody in the political system. I try to pay attention and focus on myself and, in these type of situations because us as being in America and quote unquote Americans, it's like we really, all we have is ourselves because our people don't even like us. You know what I'm saying? Like we're just bad as a country, I don't get it.
What's up? Half of America, listen, son, let me tell you something.
We're toxic.
Half of America hates America.
Exactly.
They should fucking leave. Excuse me. They should leave. Get the hell out of here.
Who?
All of them. All these people that are protesting. They're protesting against America, honey. Against our government.
Yeah.
Okay? So Biden holds back ammunition just because he wants all these young kids' votes. He just does it for their votes. That's it. What
Like,
a sick son of a bitch.
like he does it for the stats. He doesn't do it for his, his heart. I get it.
He does it so he can get their votes, be president again. And there's a whole lot of them out there in the street. Lots. All these big colleges, universities, all of them. Harvard, all of them. They're all protesting. He wants those votes. So he says, okay, I'll do something to get those votes. I won't give him the ammunition.
Yeah, that's crazy.
To go in. That's a fact. That's what he's done.
No, that's wicked intense from Biden, and that topic is one hell of a topic. But for the people out there, right, what is your opinion on like young relationships? Do you feel like people should get in relationships at a young age? Like when I say young age, like 20 years old, 21 years old, like how do you like what's your viewpoint on relationships and like marriage, and love basically?
Well, love. Love overpowers everything, honey. You'll do anything for love if it's a true love. Like mine was. My first husband was the love of my life.
So you believe in unconditional love?
Love, yes. Yeah. 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 Well, not everybody had what I had. What I had was electric. It was like an electric. I went out with them and had a hamburger, went to a movie, got up the next morning, went in the kitchen, said to my mother, I'm going to marry that guy. And he asked me 8 weeks later.
Was it all simple from the start? Like, didn't you say how you didn't want him at first or something like that?
And what?
Like, tell him about the story how he was trying to get you.
And he kept coming in. Well, I used to date a lot. When I was younger, I was kind of hot. So I had a date for 6 months every night, but it was never the same guy.
Really?
So he kept asking me to go out. And I said, I don't lie and I don't break dates because that's lying. Okay, I just never did that. I don't lie. So I had a date that weekend. I said, I'm sorry, I have a date. Then he came back another week. The following week, asked me again.
So he knew you were talking to somebody. He knew you were talking to somebody, and he still was coming after you.
Yeah.
Wow. He was persistent.
Now, the third time he came, he knew I was dating people. The third time he came, I didn't have a date that weekend, so I went out with him.
What? The other guy didn't last long? Like, you didn't like him? What happened?
Well, it wasn't just one guy. I was dating a whole lot of guys.
Oh, shit. All right. He was outside. Okay.
Yeah, I was dating a lot of guys.
Oh, yeah. Okay. She said she was hot.
Yeah.
She said she was hot.
Yeah, I was hot. I was really hot. So I had a date every night for 6 months, and I never went out with the same guy. So I wasn't with anybody. Then I met Edward, and I stopped dating other people.
And Edward was the guy that was trying.
Edward was my husband. He was the love of my life.
Shout out to Edward.
Yep. And then he died in December of 23. He died after his 5th brain surgery. He had 5 brain surgeries, son. It's horrible.
My condolences.
He died, and I was at the hospital. I spent 12 hours a day with him. That's love. I weighed 92 pounds when he died. So he stopped breathing. He died, and I jumped on the bed, straddled him, took my hands. I was real strong when I was young. Made a fist, and I beat his chest as hard as I could 3 times, and he came back to life.
Wait. Like, what you mean beat? You mean you hit him in the chest to wake him up?
Yeah. No, he was dead.
What?
He was dead. You know how they put those things on you, like if you're having a heart problem, they like electrify your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I did. I jumped on the bed, I straddled him, put a leg on one side, a leg on the other, and stepped on his belly, and threw my hands back as far as and I hit his chest, bam, and I did it again and again and again, and he came back to life. He went, and he took a deep breath and came back.
Did he say anything when he came back?
No, he didn't. I should have never done that. He was in a coma.
What?
Yeah, he was in a coma for 3 months. Last thing he said to anybody was me, and that was, "I love you." Those his last words.
It's
Never
kind of
spoken
it's,
of.
it's kind of beautiful.
It is kind of beautiful.
That's beautiful. Shout out
Yep.
to you guys, and like shout out to relationships in general that are able to be able to be maintained, because I don't know if you're caught up in it, but it's a lot of distractions with social media and people having easy access. Like this generation is pretty screwed. Like
It's very screwed, honey. It's very screwed, and I feel sorry for you because you're going to grow up in a shit show. If Trump doesn't get in, and whoever Trump picked, now listen closely, if Trump does not win this election, he can only serve 4 more years. He will pick a vice president to run with him. If they can get Trump in there, he stays for 4 years, vice president, then runs for president. So that would give Republicans in there for 8 years. If that happens, our country will turn around.
So you think Trump will save our relationships?
Oh, hell yes.
He's gonna
internationally? Yes.
You're talking about
Trump knows how to negotiate. He told them in Afghanistan, "Don't you dare kill one of my people." Because our military was in Afghanistan for 20 years. Don't you dare, I think it was 20 years, or maybe, I don't know, but I think it was very long, maybe 10. "Don't you dare kill one of my men." And nobody did. He negotiates. People respect him. He's not like a mushhead, like Biden. People are afraid of Trump, honey. He stands up to them, and they respect that. I mean, Biden can't hardly walk. Now when he walks to his helicopter, listen to this. He used to walk to his helicopter by himself. But he walks so terrible, now 5 or 6 people surround him so you can't see him barely walking.
What?
That's a new thing. That just started last week.
You think they intentionally did that, or like what did the news say that?
Yeah, of course they intentionally did it. He's been walking to the helicopter by himself for almost 4 years. But he stumbles, and he's got dementia. He had 2 aneurysms in his head in the 1980s. They operated on him.
And this is the person running the country. Wow. This is the president. Wow.
That's so Biden, yeah. He had 2 aneurysms. He's been in the... He was 29 years old. That's all he knows. He doesn't know anything else. That's it. He knows nothing else. Yeah, he's a shithead. Now, let me tell you. Hold on. I got to turn the water on from the pond. Just a second. Hold on, please.
No problem.
See my house. Oh, shit. You'd love it.
She don't play about her Trump, bro.
It's all nature, baby. All nature. It's magnificent. Oh,
would you like to expand on that and say why nature is magnificent? Because I remember you telling me about the moon. And,
yeah. Oh, yeah. It is magnificent. God is everywhere. He's out here with me. And if you leave the world a better place than you got here, right? A child or a garden, or society, change society for the good, make kids respect their parents again, that's a success. Not how much money you have. Do you leave the world a better place? A social thing, a child, a garden, whatever it is.
So it's not about the money.
Oh, hell no.
Hell no.
Not about the money. Not at all. Did you make somebody breathe easier? I told you that last time.
You did.
Did you make somebody breathe easier today when you lived in this world? Did you make one person breathe easier? I've helped 7 people die. I think that God picked me for that.
You helped 7 people what?
Die.
How do you help somebody die, Faith? What do you mean by that?
Well, I was with them, helping them, wiping off their face, giving them water, Sponge in their mouth. You play music. Remember this. This is a computer thing. When somebody's dying, even though they're in a coma, they can still hear you, and they can still smell. So you put on nice, soft music, and when you're in the room of somebody that's in a coma, just assume that they can hear what you say, but they can't talk, you see? So be careful of what you say in a room when somebody is in a coma, because you might say the wrong thing and scare them to death, and they can't tell you. They can't talk, they just hear it. So when if you love somebody and you go in that room and they're not well, they're going to die, don't say anything. Just assume that they can hear every word you say, and don't scare them when they're dying. How's that?
That's touching. That's so touching. That's computer shit. So guys,
It
computer
is.
means listen. When she says computer, that means listen. Like,
yeah, because these are things I've learned in my life.
where would you say you got your knowledge from?
I don't know.
You don't know.
No. I don't know, really. I don't know.
Damn.
I don't know if I have knowledge. I think I'm spiritual. I don't relate to too many people because I'm not normal.
Why
You know
would
what I'm saying?
See, I feel the same way, but why would you say you're not normal?
Well, I'm not. I'm like eccentric.
You're eccentric. Okay.
Very. And I'm very outspoken.
I can see that. I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. My doctor even told me that a couple weeks ago. You're very demanding. You're a very demanding patient.
You're
But I really like you. He says, but I really like you a lot.
You're a born leader.
No, I don't know about that. No. I'm a born loner.
But remember how you were saying you impact people's lives, you help people. That's a form of leadership, Faith? You don't think?
Oh, yeah, I guess it is, honey.
Yeah, you're a leader. You're demanding. You're demanding for a reason because your source is credible.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, guys, Faith tells me, if I was to find a woman, make sure she's older than me. Remember? Faith,
no, I said make sure you pick her.
You did say that.
You pick her. Don't let her pick you. You got to watch these women. You got to pick her if you want it to work. The guy has to pick the woman like Edward picked me.
So she'll never be the one. She'll never be the one if she picked you. No.
You got to pick her. And there's some real shitty women out there now, so be careful. Yeah, really. They're liars or cheaters. They'll cheat on you in a second. Because they can. And they can get away with it. Because people don't care anymore. They just don't care. It's just terrible. It's terrible. I think the only excuse I ever made, I think when I look back on my life, and I was with Michael for 23 years. And I left here and went down the road 15 minutes from my house here and stayed with my mother when she was dying. And he had an opportunity to have an affair. Okay? And he did. Because I was gone for 2 months. Men just need the opportunity and the thought. Okay? And they can go after it. And he had the opportunity. I was gone. I wasn't gone that far, but I never came back. Because my mother was dying. And I wanted to be with her.
He didn't come to visit you?
Yes, he did, every night. He used to love me to death. He loved me to death. And I learned a lot from that. You are supposed to, a woman, if you find a woman, this is a good example, and you're trying to fix something like a ladder, you want to put a ladder up or something, and she says to you, that's not the right way to do it. You need to do it this way. You don't want her.
What?
Because
If she's telling you what to do? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, let's say you put a ladder up and you put it up incorrectly, and you might fall on it.
Yeah.
And she'll say to you, I think you better not do that. You should do it this way. No, you don't want that. Because that'll work on your self-esteem. Got it?
You don't want that type of woman is what you're saying?
Huh?
You saying you don't want that type of woman? Or like, what do you mean by you don't want that?
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, because that'll work on your self-esteem, honey. So keep telling you're doing things wrong. It won't take long for you after a few years of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Huh?
No, I see what you're saying. I see exactly what you're saying.
Huh?
I said I see exactly what you're saying. That's crazy.
Yeah, you do know. After a couple of years of that, that's not gonna be good.
But how do you know she's the one though? Like, how do you know if this is the woman you should take serious?
I don't know, because mine was so special. Now, when I met Edward, I'd been engaged for 3.5 years, to a guy who was 5 years older than me. Yeah, I was going to marry him.
You was going to marry him?
Then we broke up. We broke up in August, and I met Edward in November at Halloween. So once I met Edward, I went over to the guy that I was engaged to for 3.5 years. I went to bed with him. And then I said, I'll never see you again, and left. That's pretty cool.
Damn.
That's how he, and he has called me my whole life. He's dead now. But until he died, he used to call me and want to come here and see me. But I wouldn't let him because he was married. And I didn't want to get in that. I didn't want to get in that situation.
That's toxic. That's toxic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good for me or him or her or anybody. I don't want to break up a marriage, right?
Yeah, facts.
It's like it's not the right thing to do.
That's
you
crazy.
know? But I loved him too. I loved him a lot.
Do you believe in soulmates?
Yeah, because Edward was one.
What makes a soulmate though?
Like, you just know. You just know when you meet that person. You just know. Like when I met Edward, I spent 4 hours with him, and I knew I was going to marry him.
All it took was the first 4 hours with him. That's what you already knew. So love is at first sight, basically, is what you're saying. Like,
well, it's for me, but that doesn't happen to everybody. Mine was really special. Mine was electric. That was a gift God gave me.
Amen. Amen.
Because most people don't get that, honey. They really don't. And I lived with him for 15 months. I never told him he was dying. We didn't speak of him dying. Ever. We never spoke of it. He knew it and I knew it, but we never shared the thought. Okay? Then one night, he had a brain tumor and he couldn't undress himself sometimes. So one night, he was on the edge of the bed and I was unbuttoning his shirt. And he looked up and said to me, I could have lived to be an old man and never asked for more than having you in my life and Sonia. That was the only time he ever spoke of that he wasn't going to be here any longer. Wasn't that beautiful?
That's a pen drop moment. That's wow.
Isn't that? And that's the only time in 15 months that we ever mentioned death. We lived together, but we didn't talk about it. And that was a very hard thing to do, son.
Are you
Live
scared?
with somebody knowing they're going to be gone in 15 months. They told me how long he'd live.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get it out.
That's wicked. That's wicked.
Yeah.
What's good, bro? That's wicked. So, like, do you think, like, are you afraid of death? Like,
yeah, a lot.
why?
I don't know.
Do you think you don't believe that your spirit lasts forever, though?
I don't.
Like, yeah, your body may be gone, but I don't think you're gone, you know?
Well, I've had experience about people that have died.
You said
So
you
there must
have?
be. Yeah, there must be something. I'll tell you a couple. I was asleep, and my father. I just left my father. I stayed the night with him the day he died. I got there about 9 o'clock, and I left around 4 in the morning. I got home and went to sleep. I was sound asleep. I woke up, sat up in my bed, and I said, "My father just died." And they called me about 5 minutes later. When my mother died, I'm not bullshitting you. This is absolute truth. I have a chandelier in my dining room that Edward bought me for Valentine's Day in my dining room now. It's beautiful. I came back here to the house. I sat on the dining room floor. There was no lights on the house except for the bathroom light. It had a dimmer switch on it. I sat on the dining room floor, opened my suitcase. Michael was asleep. Sonia was living here. She was in the basement. And the chandelier light came on. I looked at the chandelier light.
You didn't turn it on?
I didn't touch it. I was on the floor.
What?
I was on the floor with my suitcase. I was not near the light switch. I was 6 feet away. So it came on, and I said, "Mother, is that you?" And it went off.
Then it turned off?
Mm-hmm. That's a true story.
Oh my God.
That was the day my mother died. And that was a chandelier that Edward gave me. So was it Edward? My mother.
Oh, your Edward died before your mother?
Yes. And Edward gave me the chandelier.
So who was
it? It could have been Edward, or it could have been my mother. I wasn't sure, but I looked at the chandelier when it was on and said, "Mother, is that you?" And it went off. It's got 12 lights on it. I wasn't even near the switch. I was on the floor. Now I'll tell you something else that happened. This is really awesome. And I'm not crazy, but I'm sharing this with you.
Nah, you're not crazy. Faith, we already know you're not crazy.
Because this really happened. Well, after my mother died, I couldn't sleep. So I'd sit out in the family room by myself on the sofa, all alone, okay? And at midnight, I would hear celestial. That's the only thing how I can express it. It was the most calming sound I have ever heard in my life. I have never heard it here on this planet. It was incredible. And I remember saying, "Is that going to follow me to bed?" So I got to bed and I was still doing it. And that went on for 7 nights.
What, it was like a ringing in your ear?
Like, no, it wasn't a ringing. It was like saying that it was music is not giving it 100% credit, okay? It wasn't music, but it sounded so calming, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. I'd never heard it before. It was not of this place, let's just say that, okay? It wasn't from here. Never heard it before, never heard it again. Never. Okay? So after 7 nights, I thought I was losing my mind. I thought I was losing it. So I went in and woke Michael up. He was asleep. I said, "Can you come into the family room?" He said, "What's the matter?" I said, "Just come." And I said, "Sit down on the sofa and just be very still and quiet. And tell me if you hear anything." He said, what is that? I said, well, I've been listening to it for 7 nights. He said, where's it coming from? I said, I don't know, Michael.
So he heard it too.
He heard it too. So he got his jeans on, he walked around the whole house, looked to the garage, see if he had left anything on, like a rake, went to the basement, came back up. He says, I don't know where it's coming from. And it lasted 3 more nights, and then it went away.
That's creepy. That's creepy.
No, it's not creepy.
It's no like
sound.
Not creepy. Yeah, that's not creepy.
It was a gorgeous sound. It calmed me down.
Mm.
It wasn't from this world. I can tell you that. It wasn't from this world. And I've never heard it since.
Wow.
That's the stuff that's happened to me. With my father and with my mother. And that really, all those things I told you, really did happen. Yeah, I'm afraid of dying. I sit here and say on the sofa, I'm sitting here waiting to die.
But you don't want to look at it as like on the bright side of things in terms of that, like your loved ones, that are spiritually enhanced now. You're gonna be with them. You don't think of that at all?
I'm not so sure anymore, honey. I'm really not so sure anymore. I used to when I was younger. But, things change. Things changed. Things change.
I want to thank you for giving me time for us to have this wonderful conversation. It's always 10 out of 10 conversations with substance. You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank you for giving me the time on Mother's Day, guys. Happy Mother's Day, Faith. She's one heck of a mother. Gotta give her credit. Any last words? Any words of wisdom for for the audience? Do we
have an audience?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What?
Like we're doing a podcast.
Right now?
Yeah.
How can we do that?
Through the phone, like through speaker.
Is there anybody listening to me?
Not live streaming, but we're recording a podcast.
Oh, gee, we are? I'm going to tell you, if they don't believe in the 3 F's, faith, alphabetical order, family, and freedom. You got to vote for the one that believes in faith, family, and freedom, or you're fucked. And remember, if we don't get Trump in there and get his vice president to run the next 4 years, that'll give us 8 years of people that have some brain in their head. This country, it will be finished. Middle class will be annihilated. We cannot continue to support 12 million people that are coming across the border. Give them health care, shelter, money. We can't, we don't have that kind of money. Our debt is already at like $32 trillion. My God.
So it's like we're paying for stuff we can't afford.
Yeah, right.
Jeez.
And everybody thinks that electric cars are going to be great. Well, wait till you're stuck in $495 and your battery runs out.
Yeah, I was thinking that, like, what do you do if the battery I don't have a Tesla, but a lot of Teslas are on the streets now. You think electric cars are... What do you do
in a snowstorm when, it's backed up and you can't move, or you go to the side of the road and have an accident, or whatever? I mean, it's not a very good idea, okay? They need to make them with electric in them and also the fuel, both of them. You need to have a choice, but if that's the secret, do both of them. But can you imagine? I mean, having an electric... Okay, it might be a great... Here. It might be a great idea, but I live in metropolitan area of Washington, D.C. Want me to tell you how many Tesla charging stations I have seen in this area? 6. And where are they? They're at Wawa. I've only seen 6 charging stations.
So you feel like that's not enough, right?
I feel like what?
That's not enough.
Well, how can you run all these cars with only 6 charging stations?
Yeah.
In my area, right? In my area.
You're right.
The idea might be great, but it's too soon. We haven't gotten to the point where we know how the batteries work, that we can make them last for 10 hours. Okay?
Shout out
I mean,
Elon Musk.
when they do that, then maybe, just maybe, it'll work. But it's, it's kind of like we're learning. We're still learning.
Yeah.
Okay? They got to make the batteries stronger so they last longer. They can't be stopping when it gets so cold and stop running.
How do you feel about AI? How do you feel about AI?
That's very dangerous.
You not rocking with it?
Huh?
You not rocking with the AI? You not messing with it?
Well, no. Mm-mm. Bad idea.
They're gonna turn on us, right? The AI is gonna turn on us, right?
Say that what?
The AI, the robots are gonna turn on us.
What do you think?
Shit. I think so.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's a really bad idea. Just saying. Oh, I got company. I gotta go.
All right. It's all right. Thank you so much for your opportunity. Say bye to Mike. Say bye, Faith. Say bye, Faith. Nice talking to you, Faith.
Okay, sweetheart. Bye.
Take care.
You too.
Bye.
I'll see you this week, maybe.
Yes, ma'am. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Yo, she just get y'all game, bro. She just put y'all niggas on the politics, nigga. I told y'all, nigga, I beat your bro. It get deeper than that. You feel me? That was just a little part. She could keep going if she really wanted to. Look, she had company. But she wasn't finna stop. But yeah, man, that's the game, man. That's what y'all needed to hear. You know, if y'all voters know what to do now, you know what I'm saying? You know, relationship, y'all got some, bro. The ones that listen, the ones that know, the ones that know.